edition of Grizzlies Daily. I'm your host Malik, and let's just jump straight into it, man. So, right here we are basically in the midst. We are in the wrap of summer league in Utah. The Grizzlies did drop the last game against the Philadelphia 76ers, 91 to 90. Although a great majority of players did not play. Gigi Jackson, Cam Spencer, literally any most majority of the main names did not play. Even Zion Poland, which I heavily disagree with, and a lot of people disagree with. But hey, um, he didn't play. So there we are. But in this game, although the Grizzlies lost, and it really just came down to last minute things, last minute fumblings. Um, I liked what I saw. And some names really caught me off guard. One being Tyler Burton, who is signed to the Memphis Hustle, but he was balling. He had like 13 in the first quarter. And I looked what I saw. I mean, he finished the game with 23 points and 9 rebounds. This all being off the bench, by the way, in 25 minutes. So who knows? Hopefully we see more of Tyler Burton. Just kind of seeing his game and seeing how he really balls out because I saw this and I'm like, man, he is a really good shooter. I mean, he made five threes, three of them I think being in the first quarter. So I liked what I saw from him. Another name that stood out, Aaron Estrada. He was also coming off the bench, number 55. If y'all, were kind of not really, if y'all didn't know, he finished with 14 points, 4 rebounds, and 7 assists. Didn't really shoot the most efficient, but I liked what I saw. I really liked what I saw. Both of those guys having their summer league debuts, and honestly balling out. Really loved it. But the one thing that I took away from all of this, Jemai Meshack, and call me crazy, and I'm all for being called crazy, but that man might. I think the Grizzlies might potentially have their enforcer, and the reason I say that is because not only did he score 13 points, hitting 3 for 4 from three in 24 minutes, he really had some great defense. He had some great defense, and honestly, I really liked what I saw. I liked what I saw. I liked the physicality. I liked how he has this attitude of I'm going to run through you to make sure that you don't score. So I really liked what I saw from Meshack. I honestly looking at Meshack play, I'm getting flashes of Lou Dort, which is why I say the Grizzlies may have their enforcer. And honestly, all I have to say is Zach Kleiman, you've done it again. I don't know how the Grizzlies keep finding these gems in the second round, but they keep doing it. Now, obviously, this is just a sample serving of Jemai Meshack. Obviously, we have to go down the line and um, really see how he is. But I like what I see so far. I really do, and I think he's a wing defender that can actually find his way into the rotation. Obviously, he's probably going to start off in he might probably going to start off in South Haven where he playing for the Memphis Hustle, but I definitely think he has that ability to get called up. Honestly, so I think as long as he keeps it up, we could see Jemai Meshack on the main roster, and I'm all for it. If he keeps this up, I'm all for it. Now, as they prepare to go into Vegas, which is when we'll see more guys play, something that I will say that I've kind of thought about that really just throws me off. I'm surprised Vince Williams isn't playing, and the reason I say that is because not saying that Vince Williams um, isn't like bad and just does and should be in summer league. I think it's kind of weird that he isn't in summer league. Reason being, it's just like he's still young. I feel like he still has some things that he work on, mostly with the turnovers, because there was a point in time in the playoffs where Vince Williams had a turnover problem, and um, I think there's a realm where if we're being honest, we have to really evaluate some of these players and realize, okay, there's still some things to work on. So that was just my take on that. But other than that, Utah Summer League is a wrap, and we are moving on to Vegas, where we will more than likely see guys like Jaylen Wells, Gigi Jackson, Cam Spencer, all those good guys play again. No real update on Cedric Coward. Best, we're kind of hoping he's ready for Vegas. But yeah, no real update on his availability. So I would say just don't bank on it. But That's a possibility. It could happen. That's a possibility. Now, in other news, when it comes to the off season, we have confirmation, and this is from EuroLeague sources. Tarik Biberovic, who we've talked about the Grizzlies possibly bringing over um, from overseas, he has reportedly rejected the Grizzlies' offer and has instead agreed to a 3-year contract with Fenerbahce, which I believe that's still Turkey. So he's agreed to play. He's agreed to still play in Turkey. Um, Got to be honest, I'm not mad at him. Him being here, I'm not mad at it. I wasn't really fond of the idea of bringing him over anyway, but seeing that he's staying overseas, I'm not mad at it, not disagreeing with it. We're kind of living in a time where players who are from overseas are kind of wanting to stay home. I mean, we're seeing the case kind of unfold with Jonas Valanciunas and his whole deal with the Nuggets. That's a crazy situation. But yeah, I'm not mad at it. And then not to mention, if we have guys like Cam Spencer on the team who can shoot consistently, bring energy, and play solid defense, I don't think the need for Biberovic. I don't think it was high. So yeah, best of luck to him. I mean, hopefully, he balls out to a point where this conversation is a no-brainer. We're like, hey, maybe he is a needle mover. Maybe we do need somebody like that. But until then, like I said, best of luck to him. I hope he balls out. He's been balling out, so best of luck to him. But that's just an update on that I saw this morning that I felt the need to share with you all. So Biberovic is staying overseas in Turkey, and he's going to be balling out. So that's that. But something that I really wanted to discuss, and this is what I'm starting to learn from Summer League. Um, Now, obviously, this is not gonna it's not gonna seem fluid at the time, but this is something that I'm starting to kind of pay attention to, and it's that Tuomas Iisalo may be what the Grizzlies need. Obviously, there's skepticism around him, but what I'm learning is that he may be exactly what Memphis needs. And why I say that is because the system that we're seeing from him is something that we could not get out of Taylor Jenkins. And the reason I say that is because we're looking at a system that is catered to the strengths of players. And I'm not just talking about players in general. I'm talking about the younger guys. The reason and I'm saying is because let's be honest. Let's just take it back to the beginning of the season. Well, not the beginning of the season, but when Iisalo took over in the towards the end of the season. As soon as he took over, we started seeing more pick and rolls between John Morant and Zach Edey. We started seeing Jaren Jackson more in the low post. We started seeing Desmond Bane go downhill more, and then we started seeing all these things. Um, and it's something. It's a breath of fresh air, if I'm being honest. Then, not to mention, after I believe after yesterday's game or the game against the Sixers, not the Sixers, but the one against the Jazz, Gigi Jackson went on record basically saying, and I have it right here, um, basically that Coach Iisalo has been telling him to go downhill more. And that is something that we have been stressing when it comes to Gigi. He does not always have to shoot jumpers. Gigi has the ability and the length to go downhill at will. And the fact that Iisalo is giving him the green light to do that, it is a breath of fresh air because we could not get that out of Taylor Jenkins. We genuinely cannot. Taylor Jenkins has Gigi sitting in the corner majority of the time. So the fact that he's catering to his strengths, that is a breath of fresh air, and that is how you develop players. We've also seen this case with guys like Cam Spencer. Guess what? Cam Spencer, yes, he's gonna try to make the easy pass or the best pass possible. But hey, you're a shooter, and you're a deadly shooter at that. Shoot that ball. Shoot it if you feel like you have that shot. Because there's not too many people. I feel like it is not too many people in the league that can guard Cam Spencer on the wing. So the fact that Iisalo is catering to their strengths, that's something that I can look forward to going into next year as a sign, a glimmer of hope that the Grizzlies will pan out to being a serious contender potentially. Now, this is a system that I will say it takes time to figure out. It takes a lot of time to figure out. But this either start in two ways. The Grizzlies, they start out kind of in the middle, figuring the things out, and then they jump off later in the year. Or they could just come out of nowhere, catch everyone off guard, and just stay very consistent, very hot with this new system. But like I said, this takes time. You got a lot of players to really try to really figure out their strengths and where they fit in the offense or defense. So this is something that I can say, look, going into next year, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to seeing how he has these younger guys play around a guy like John Moran and Jaren Jackson Jr. So hopefully we get that. And obviously with the veterans, we see some changes in how things are done, because even the veterans can improve. They'll tell you that, and obviously we've seen it. And we obviously want the best for the team. So if the veterans can get on board, then I have no problem with where the direction of the team is going. I think it's just something that people have to understand. It takes time, and there's nothing wrong with taking time. As long as you are contending, I feel like we can be patient. As a lifelong Memphis fan, I'm more than welcome with being patient. We haven't gotten to this point in a long time, if not at all. So I'm all for it. But speaking of Grizzlies fans, I felt the need to address this because it's so weird after the game against the Jazz. It is, don't get me wrong, it is clear that, maybe people kind of had these unrealistic expectations for Jaylen Wells. And what I mean by that is a lot of people basically want Jaylen Wells to take off as this next star potentially, but that's not what the Grizzlies are asking him to do. They're asking him to play his role as a wing player and simply stay there. And honestly, nobody is really mad at that. I don't think anybody has a problem with Jaylen Wells being a spot up shooter majority of the season or his career. Nobody really has a problem with that. But guess what? As long as the defense is good, I don't really care. I promise, I really don't care. So as long as his defensive side is good and he's hitting his threes, we're not asking much of Jaylen Wells. We're not asking him to be an ISO player. I don't know why people thought that. It's not the case. And honestly, it's a dumb topic because I'm starting to realize that this whole propaganda of maybe Jaylen Wells is overhyped is because people are bored. People are bored in the off season, and they're upset that we don't have a guy like Ace Bailey or VJ Edgecombe that's super athletic and take over the game potentially. They're upset that we don't have that. And honestly, it's crazy because it's the Grizzlies fans that know how this works. They know the team. They know what we have. But it's like, why are we coming up with this take as if this was always the expectation for Jaylen Wells? This was never the expectation for Jaylen Wells. We never expected him to take off as a third star. Nobody said that. So the fact that this overhyped talk is really, really, really being pushed by some people in the community, I hate it. I genuinely hate it. So I don't know why we got bored to the point where we're pushing this propaganda. So it's just it was really stupid to me. But I'd say watch the games and realize what we have and don't be upset at it. But yeah, it's just like I don't understand the point of saying he's overhyped. He's young. He just finished his rookie year. How can you overhype that if you ain't give it time? You have to give it time. So it's just it's dumb. And there's a group of there's a group of people that believe that Jaylen Wells is supposed to be this scorer, which he never was. He wasn't even that much of a scoring. Well, I'm not gonna say he was that much of a score, not that much scorer, but he was never really looked at as a main scorer in college. So I don't understand this propaganda where all of a sudden we're asking him to do all this and that, and then not to mention we have to be grateful for what we have. He was a second round pick. Nobody expected much out of Jaylen Wells, especially towards the beginning of the year. And then sure enough, earlier in the year, He's shooting over guys like LeBron. He's holding Steph Curry to 2 points on 0 made field goals. I feel like people forget that. Watch the games, stop pushing propaganda, and really, life would be much better if people stop comparing players from other teams to the players that we have. Now, granted, I know I just started this whole video off saying that Jemima Shaq is reminding me of Lou Dort, but that's more on the positive side of things. And that's not me saying, oh, we need a Lou Dort kind of player. No, I'm saying we need a bit of an enforcer that can play defense. Now, it's just so happened that Lou Dort fits that description. But when it comes to Jaylen Wells, be happy with what we got. He is a wing player who's going to develop. And honestly, I think Iisalo realizes in this offense, you don't need that many people to really score for real. Well, I'm going to say be a main scorer. You have Ja and Jaren. If they're both going, you're fine. If not, you got players off the bench that can score at will. You turn to them. But to expect that from Jaylen Wells, especially after he just finished his rookie year, which was cut short, I might add, we need to take a step back and relax. Genuinely. I know it's the all season. The Grizzlies haven't made any trades lately. Let's relax. Let's please calm down. Please. Because I hated that I even started it after the Utah game. Like, what are we talking about? We're literally bored. We're just bored out of our mind. And I feel like that's the one thing I hate about the all season. People get bored and they come up with these propagandas because they have nothing better to talk about. Literally, just nothing better. But that's my think piece on that. I'm going to stop talking, stop rambling. I would love to hear what you guys have to say in the comments below because I saw this and I actually got a little frustrated. I'm not even going to hold you. But that's all I got for this edition of Grizzlies Daily. Like I said, nothing real active right now in free agency, even rumor-wise. It's a pretty dead point. Like I said, I doubt it picks up at this point. But only time will tell. If you like this edition of Grizzlies Daily, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so that way you get notified when the next video comes out. And like I said, comment on anything that you felt like was discussed in this video or needed to be discussed in this video. I'm all for it. I look at them and I respond to them. But as for this edition of Grizzlies Daily, my name is Melek, and I'm signing off.